Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video where we discuss all sorts of interesting things. Let's talk a little bit about something that exists in the English language, maybe in some other languages as well. I don't know, I'm not sure, but it's certainly it's a particular expression or way of speaking that does not exist in my language, and for good reasons. It's a bit of a rant, I have to admit. This video is a bit of a rant, but I am doing my best to explain to you objectively why it is problematic to use a certain expression in English and to think that way. So it seems to be very common that whenever you are thinking at needs, criterias, or conditions, but we'll focus more on needs because those are more important, you think of them in terms of something that can be met or not met, unmet. Well, I find it quite problematic, and I find it to be one of those problems that perhaps for you it's not so easy to see, because since English is your language, well, for those of you who English is your language, you've become so accustomed to all sorts of expressions that you have that I can understand why some things are just impossible for you to see. But from the outside, honestly, this particular expression, the idea of a need that is being met or a need that is being unmet, is just scratching my brain, like really scratching my brain. And what I propose, or what I want you to think about, is that by its very nature, a need cannot be met or unmet. It can be satisfied or not satisfied. Okay. And let's think a little bit about a need. What is a need? Well, a need is something that by its very nature is internal to the one having it. You cannot separate a need from the person, the animal, or the plant that has that particular need. Or even if we're talking about, I don't know, something that's not alive, some mechanism or whatever that, I don't know, needs some reparations, needs some maintenance or whatever. It's the same thing. Need is something that by its very nature is internal to that thing that is having it. So when I need something, that particular need cannot be separated from me, because a need does not exist outside of the context of my life. Okay? Your needs do not exist outside of the context of your life. So it is literally impossible to separate these two things, and therefore, by their very nature, needs are internal to us. Here's the thing. Think about it. Can you meet something that is internal to you? Try to make a mental exercise. Pick anything from inside of you. Can you meet your brain? Can you meet your heart? Can you meet your lungs? Can you meet your liver? Well, no, you can't. Of course not. You can only meet something or someone that is external to you. You can never meet something internal to you, because that's something internal to you. You get to carry it no matter where you're going, no matter where you are. You get to always have that. Okay, that can never be external. Your heart can never be an external component of yours. Or at least if you identify yourself with your body, which for the sake of this exercise I highly encourage you to do, okay? Just for the sake of this exercise, so that you understand better what I'm saying. Your heart can never become external to you. Your lungs can never become external to you. Any parts of you, if they would somehow become external to you, you would die. Okay? It means that, I don't know, someone has killed you, or you've gone through an accident and one of your organs is no longer there inside of you. That pretty much means that you're dead. So you can only meet that which is external to you. Okay? And therefore, you cannot meet your needs. You always get to carry your needs until you satisfy them. Okay? And even in English, if you think about it, you have the expressions like sating your hunger or quenching your thirst. You don't say meeting your hunger, meeting your thirst, because it just doesn't make sense, you know. So in general, a need cannot be met, it can be satisfied. The problem is that psychologically speaking, it is disempowering to think of needs as some things that could be potentially met or not met. It is equivalent to saying that it's like walking on a street and potentially meeting a friend or not. Because who knows whether he happens to be out on that same street at the same time like you or not. Well, it is profoundly wrong to think like this in terms of your needs, especially if you live in the West and you are already disempowered by your culture, because then you will think in the same way of needs as you think about meeting a person on the street. You will have this mentality that, you know, maybe I can meet my need, maybe I cannot meet my need. Who knows? It's a matter of luck. There's not much I can say about it, you know? Like, psychologically, it puts you in this kind of mentality, and that's wrong. That's problematic. It is much, much better to think of needs. And for that matter, criteria are conditions, because they are similar in terms of some things that could be satisfied or not satisfied. Because then you are mentally placing yourself in a space in which things have much more, seem to be much more in your power and are much more in your power, you know. Think about if you're hungry. That's a need. Think comparatively. Think once in terms of potentially meeting your hunger, potentially meeting, like encountering food, or potentially not, versus thinking of your need, of your hunger, in terms of something that you can satisfy or not. In other words, potentially doing something to satisfy your hunger. Obviously, in the second case, you feel like you have the situation in your hands a lot better. You have things in your control a lot better than in the first case, when it becomes a matter of chance whether or not it happens. Okay? So think about it. Think about the idea of stopping to say meeting a need versus and not meeting a need, And start thinking in terms of satisfying a need or not satisfying a need. Think about the possibility that it might help you mentally, you know. It might just help you to put yourself in a better position in life. So that's pretty much it with my rant. Again, it's something that exists in English, perhaps in other similar languages, in other Germanic languages. I don't know, because I don't know others. I'm a Latin person in my language, and as far as I know in the other Latin languages, we do not have this expression of meeting a need. We use the term satisfying a need. Okay, because of the reasons that I've just mentioned. So, hope this was useful. Think about what I've just said. Thanks a lot for listening to me, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.